What's been the message from the coaches this week?
Really just focus on the team, big team aspect, and stop worrying about so much external things. We can't really worry about, last few weeks we haven't played to our standard, the Bama standard, so, just worrying about internally what we're doing, not our opponent or anything, just play Bama football.
How do you get back to playing to that standard, do you think?
Just really take heed and take pride in the small things, small details. Don't get bored with the basics. And, coming to practice every day, working your butt off every day, and just doing the small things right. We have TNT signs, take no talent. You make a mistake on a play, you get a flag, anything, just take no talent, run to the sign, touch the sign. We got to get back into that and just, accepting ownership and stuff. We got to own up to it, accept it, flush, and go one to the next play.
As an older player, just how do you and the other leaders kind of rally the troops after 2 losses now?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. In general, 2 losses that we probably shouldn't have had. I mean, you can't accept that in any way. You can't understand it in any way. I mean, you got to understand from inside. We lost those games. Bama lost those games. Nobody beat us. So there were 2 good teams still, but we beat ourselves. And to the Bama standard, Bama doesn't really lose 2 games, especially not before November. So just rallying around, knowing what we have to do, get back to it. We just talked as a unity council, as a leadership council. Young guys aren't young guys anymore. Everyone's got to step up in their shoes. Everybody's got to know what they're doing. I mean, that's for leaders also. Everybody's just got to do their role to the best of their ability.
From an offensive standpoint, what's maybe the key point of emphasis this week?
Key point of emphasis, just like I said, don't get bored with the big things, do the small things right. We got to run the ball super efficient just so we can open up the pass game, and then when we get the pass game going, keep it rolling, keep it moving. We have a lot of good players on the outside, a lot of good players in the box, up front, outside on the receivers, good quarterback, so we got to just, play to our strengths and be able to do it all right.
What stands out about Missouri when you watch their defense with them?
I think they have a good defensive front. They have a defensive end that's pretty good, but we played 2 really good defensive ends last 2 weeks in South Carolina and Tennessee. So, personally, not really super worried about it, but just make sure we take care of business, know what we have to do, and really study the film. Just get into the film room, know what we have to do, and be ready for our opponent.
You're an older player. How important is it for you just to kind of get back on track and finish the season the way that you want to?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not just that I want to, but I mean, obviously the goal here, when you come to Alabama, you sign up to be the best. You want to be the best because that's the Bama standard. And, I want to come out here. We obviously all want to win a national championship. 2 losses, it's tough. Nobody can promise us what our future holds, but, just get back into it, the team, and, get back into everyone doing their job and playing everybody's role.
I guess that's what I was meaning more is like the goal is the national championship and the older guys, you don't have chances left. Is that something that you kind of talk about internally, or is that kind of just known?
Yeah, I think it's more internally. As known, everybody expects Bama to do the best. Like I said, Bama usually doesn't have 2 losses till November, but that's on us. So there's no finger pointing there, and we got to understand that. We got to understand that. There's nothing promised in the future, but we went out, we do what we have to do, just playing one play at a time, one game at a time. All we're worried about is Missouri right now, though.
Gotcha. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Tyler Booker said on Monday that not everyone is 100% at the moment. How are you feeling at this stage of the season?
Pretty good. I mean, it's definitely a grueling season. Football's a grueling sport. I don't even know what week it is, but we're getting late in the season. I mean, everyone's got bumps and bruises. I got bumps and bruises, but I mean, when it comes down to it, nobody really cares, man. The work is the work, and got to just keep going.
And you mentioned, I believe, an edge rusher from Mizzou. Is there anyone else that really stands out?
I've been really focused on the front. I'm sure they have a couple good players in their linebackers and their DBs, but I've been just focusing on the front, keeping on the run game, the pass game, and just figuring out what I have to do there first.
What can you, as tight ends, do to help give Jaylen confidence and boost his confidence?
Just every play coming back. It's tough. It's tough. Quarterback's a tough position. As tight ends, we have to see it kind of like a quarterback. We're in the run game and in the pass game so much that we see some things and it's tough. Sometimes we get fooled as well in our details. So just keeping confidence up. I mean, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone's done stuff. Nobody plays perfect. Nobody plays perfect consistently either. That's for sure. So just striving for excellence as much as we could be. Obviously keeping the confidence up in everybody.
Is there anything you're saying to him? I mean, as an older guy, or do you just pretty much let him do his thing?
Yeah, it's definitely, I got your back. We've always had each other's back. Why wouldn't we have each other's back now? I don't think anything's changed for week in, week out. So, I mean, it's just going 1-0 and worry about Missouri this week.
CJ, Kane Womack yesterday was talking about how Missouri's defense, the coaching staff, he's coached with those guys, knows them well. It's kind of the same tree. So when you watch Missouri's defense on tape, does it feel similar to what you practice against here?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of the same scheme. I think they do. They definitely do a little bit different of what we do. We strive on a little different areas than they do. So I think they play more off, more bail. But and we're more a man team. But yeah, in general, the same thing, different players. So just watching our guys, learn from them, even asking them some questions. Like a safe position, a big one. So maybe asking Malachi, like what are you guys doing here? What do you see in this formation? And then they're probably being taught the same stuff, so it'll just relate right back.
Do those similarities make it a little bit easier prep than if you're running up on a defense that's crazy, blitzing all the time, doing something totally different?
Yeah, it's definitely easier because, when you get in the season, you work against a scout team, so we've been doing that last few weeks. But, since January all the way up to August, we've been going against our defense, 1s-on-1s, 2s-on-2s. So, we've seen that defense for such a long time. We're going to be able to just relate back to it and understand what we first learned about it.
Thanks.
Coach DeBoer talked about excuses soften character. What comes to mind when you hear him say something like that?
I totally agree with him. I grew up somewhere where I don't really use excuses. Your buts, your whys. That stuff's it just holds you back. So there's no excuses. You have to understand when something goes wrong with you personally or anybody else, what can I do better? Like if I'm all the way outside and the play's not even by me, what could I do better still? It's kind of just the next step mentality, want to know, and then like what's next? What are you going to do now? You got to kind of just understand how you're going to react to it when it happens next time.
That what's next mentality, like, are you seeing other guys embrace that too?
Yeah, definitely. We strive on a 1-0 mentality. I strive on kind of a what now, what next mentality. No matter what happens, a good play or a bad play, you have a good play, what now? In Tennessee, I jumped over a guy. The next play, I didn't do my best job. What now? What are you going to do now? So you kind of just got to go back up because every play has a journey of its own. Every play is 1-0 at its own. So you got to just take one play at a time.
Quick question about the jumping over the guys. So when you get ahead of steam with the ball in your hand, I don't ever see DBs try to hit you high. They're always going for the ankles. Is that kind of where the jump? You get tired of that?
Yeah, totally. Obviously, I'm a bigger dude. Not a lot of people want to tackle me. Not that they could tackle me. I strive. My coach strives on me. I try to strive that I'm not going to get tackled by the first person, at least not by only one person. So, someone's going to jump low, I got to jump because I'm not going to keep getting hit in the legs because they don't want to hit me high.
You're below the knees, you take a pounding.
Yeah.
Jeremy was just talking about kind of tightening up some of the details there in terms of going to meetings on time. Just how much has that been the message this week from the coaches?
Yeah, everything. I already said, we got to kind of just take details in the small things. Don't get bored with the basics. Get back to what we're supposed to wear, shirts tucked in, 5 minutes, 10 minutes early to meetings, not all this late stuff, not doing what you want to do. Just little things like that. Carry over to the football field, because then what if you take one wrong step, one wrong thing, it just all carries over. So you got to act everything all throughout the day, going to class on time, everything's the same thing like you would want to do in the football field.
2 more.
Sorry if you've been asked this already today, but just on film from Missouri's defense, what's kind of stood out so far, and how are you guys trying to exploit them?
Yeah, I focused up on the up front so far, so I know they have a good defensive end, but we've played pretty good defensive ends the last 2 weeks with South Carolina and Tennessee, so just preparing for that, preparing for all their moves, and that I'm going to move into the secondary probably today. So just understand what they do. They have a pretty close scheme to what we do. Same coaches in the past that worked with Coach Womack. So, just understanding that and understand what they do is similar and working off of that.
Has there been kind of a message, maybe has Coach Womack kind of shared things with the offense a little bit, knowing he's got that close relationship?
Not really, but it's not really that I know of, but it's really more just asking the players, like asking somebody on the defense, like, oh, what do you do if you see this look, or what do you see in my tells that give something away when we're at practice, because that's just going to help me get better and help our offense get better, so I won't give that away, and they could tell me what I should look for against their defense when I go up against them.